was a great privilege and blessing for me to be able to go on a mission trip to Liberia with Pastor Stephen and Florence and Bill Jensen. I had never been very far out of the United States, and for a simple country boy from northeast Iowa, going to Africa was a pretty monumental thing, but it was quite a blessing. And when we got off the plane in Monrovia, I knew I wasn't in Kansas anymore. The infrastructure is a lot different. There's just so many needs, there's so much poverty. And when we were driving from the airport to our hotel that night, I noticed there were a lot of homes that didn't have electricity. And the next day when we got up, we drove to the Hope Center, which is only about 15 miles away, but because the roads are so bad, it just took us about an hour to get there. So when we got there, it was kind of like being in an oasis, and I'd seen pictures of the Hope Center, but to see it in real life was pretty special. And the kids were in school, and we were walking around the school building, and they were all looking out at us from the windows. And I thought to myself that this is the most beautiful school building I've ever seen in my life. Not because of the structure, but because of the content. And when the recess bell went off, all the students rushed out, and they surrounded us. It was a sea of children around all of us, and they were hugging us and shaking our hands and really welcoming us. And it was at that point I really realized this was a special mission. To be there was quite a blessing. And I thought about how the children really, I thought about how Jesus said the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. And that was our mission, that we were there to help equip them and build them up. And it was just an amazing thing to be a part of that. And we really, anybody who donated items, anybody who was praying for us, anybody who contributed to serve Africa was really a part of that mission and received a great blessing for that. One of the wonderful things that we were able to do when we were in Liberia was distribute all the donated items that many people from Iowa had donated. And those items were all shipped over before we got there in a large container. And there were so many things to go through when we got there. So many boxes, mostly clothing and school supplies and food. Very important things that would meet the needs of so many people there. So that took us a while to get through all that. But it was just wonderful to distribute those as we distributed them to the churches and distributed them to individual people. They really were appreciative, very thankful. Many of them came up to me and said, "Make sure you tell the people from Iowa, thank you for these items, we really appreciate it." And it was just wonderful to see how grateful they were. It's sort of like watching somebody on Christmas when they open up a present and they're excited. And they're so thankful, they were so grateful. So anybody that contributed to those donated items, it was quite a blessing, and they really appreciated that. One of the other objectives that God laid on our heart to accomplish while we were in Liberia was outreach, was to get the word out to the surrounding people in the village there. And so on Sunday afternoons and sometimes afternoons when we were finished with our other activities, we would go around the homes surrounding the Hope Center, and we'd pass out Bibles, and we would just visit with them about the Lord, and they were very receptive. One thing I noticed about Liberian people was that they were very hospitable, and so they would come out and if they saw us, they would come into the house and give us a chair to sit on, and it really honored us. And it was a very easy conversation, unlike in America where it's very hard sometimes to evangelize. But they were very receptive to the Word, and they were very, very thankful. We had some Bibles. I wish we would have had about 200 Bibles, but we had several Bibles that we passed out, and they were very appreciative of that. Unlike some people who leave that area and never come back, Florence and Stephen back, and minister to them. So they were very thankful for them. And I could tell that they were really, some of them were very, very hungry. In fact, one of the ladies there told Pastor Stephen that this was the first meal that she had in over a year where she felt like she was full when she got done eating. So it was just an amazing blessing to be able to do that. And I just thought about how Jesus said, when you did this for the least of my brothers, you were doing it for me. So that was a big blessing, a big part of the mission to help feed them and do what Jesus commanded us to do, to help those who need help. So, before I went on the mission trip, our pastor, Pastor Amon, said that if you go on a mission trip, you will never come back the same. And that was really true. It really touched my soul. And I feel like in that short time I was there, God knitted my heart together with the Liberian brothers and sisters. And I have a burden for them now that I never had before. It's like they're my family, and I pray for them every day. And I just want God to meet their needs and continue to protect them. But it was truly great to be a part of something where we were feeding the orphans, we were clothing the underprivileged kids, we were providing training for the pastors, for the teachers. I'm alongside of them. We're just doing whatever we can to advance the
We want to say thanks to everybody, especially those who were able to join us for this 2022 mission trip. Brother Bill Jency, it was amazing. Bill and I connected through GoServe Global like a year ago, and he was a huge part of the Cortina project. And so we want to say thank you, Bill and Brother Jay. When Pastor Terry couldn't go to Liberia because of some vaccine mandate or requirement, God just raised Brother Jay up, and he stepped in to do the pastor's training, the teacher's training, and it was just incredible how God always uses our availability and willingness, and we are grateful, so grateful to God for Brother Jay. And of course, many of you did not go to Liberia, but you sent us. We want to let you know, you don't always have to go, but sending us and making it happen is just incredible. And we want to say thank God for everybody. Those of you here in Iowa and some of our other partners in other states here in the U.S., we want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Lives are changing in Liberia. Hope has been delivered. Opportunities has been provided. People are being educated. Pastors are being empowered. All because you gave.